GM Livepeer, folks watching on Twitter, and also folks on the Discord. Welcome to the weekly Fireside. I hope everyone's been doing good. Also, just a congratulations to the network for reaching another all-time high network fee of just over 19,000. Super exciting stuff, as always. Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, brother. 1 second. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Okay. So, first, if you're watching on Twitter, feel free to scan the QR code and join our community. That's where everything happens in the Livepeer ecosystem. So tap in there and we'll be happy to have you. Also, our real-time video AI community is growing. So daydream.live, scan this QR code to check out what we're building over at Inc. We have almost hit 1,000 people in the new server, so the community is growing quite quickly. We presented at a Touch Designer event yesterday night, and we got a bunch of really amazing builders, creators, and builders, creators, and researchers who are interested in the real-time video AI vertical. So jump in there and get engaged. All right, so for today we have two folks joining us. We have Rich from Livepeer Foundation, who will be giving us an update on the advisory boards and what tactical conclusions they came to over the last number of weeks. And also we're going to have John from the AISB doing a spotlight on some recent developments that they have accomplished. All right, Rich, welcome. How are you?
Hello. How are we doing? How are you?
Doing good. All right, well, I'll jump off the stage and I'll let you take it away.
And before I start, a very happy birthday to Ethereum. We should be celebrating as a similar time. Livepeer was founded back in 2016, so we're 1 year away. But a very happy birthday to Ethereum. Cool. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rich, and I run growth and strategy at the Livepeer Foundation. And it's been a very, very busy time in Foundation land. About to go into it. Hopefully, we'll take about 10 minutes. And without further ado, let's go through. So to kick things off, the mission of the Livepeer Foundation is to steward the vision, ecosystem growth, and core development of the Livepeer project. And we're at the beginning of the Livepeer Foundation, but also as our first initiative, we launched what are called advisory boards. And these are a mechanism to provide a clear pathway for ecosystem stakeholders, anyone within the community with a degree of stake, both from a financial perspective, but also, most importantly, a time commitment, to participate in the strategy setting in the future of the Livepeer project as a whole. Next slide. And we really see advisory boards as an extension of the Livepeer Foundation and this bridge to the community. Advisory boards are small domain-specific groups consisting of Livepeer core contributors. And there are 4 core advisory boards that are an exhaustive list of everything that happens within the Livepeer project. These are growth, network, markets, and governance. And the foundation is facilitating this advisory board life cycle over the period of 6 months. And really, one of the core outcomes, which will be published in a couple of weeks, very exciting, is a coherent roadmap which helps to mobilize resources within the Livepeer project, not just from Livepeer Inc., not just from the foundation, but most importantly also from within the community of builders, researchers, and core contributors funded by the on-chain treasury, which is governed by the token holders, LPT holders, to really dictate what they see as important and priorities for the future of the Livepeer project. And these advisory board process, let's just go around the circle. So these advisory boards have been formed a couple of months ago. The foundation then surveyed the community to really understand what the community feels are key priorities that the advisory board should be focused on. This was done through a form. The advisory boards are now in the final stage, and very excited to reveal the recommend stage is coming to a close, where both strategic pillars are decided on, and then tactical recommendations, these 6 to 12 months initiatives that the Livepeer network should be focused on, are then communicated. And then as these recommendations have been communicated, working groups can then come in and try and pitch to the Livepeer community and get screened by the advisory boards as to say whether these are suitable groups or not. And then finally, advised continuous advisory towards these groups to make sure they deliver on their promise to the community. Next slide. So tactical recommendations are short-term actionable objectives, providing clear coordinated direction for the next 6 months of the Livepeer project. We previously started with strategic pillars, and these were across those 4 advisory boards: growth, network, markets, governance. Across these 4 advisory boards, strategic pillars were really breaking down the problem space of each one of those advisory boards. And then these tactical recommendations, what they're doing is really thinking, okay, we've got define the problem space. What do we want to focus on? Next slide. And we went through a long couple of weeks, a good couple of weeks, but an intense couple of weeks for advisory boards, where these strategic pillars were really mapped. These tactical recommendations were really mapped out individually by individual advisory board members first, and these were mapped to different strategic objectives. And then each chair of the advisory boards, initially these chairs are foundation members. In the future, they should be open to anyone. These chairs are then responsible for coming up with what we call synthesis, so ensuring that there is coherence and structure and categorization of each one of these recommendations, so that we ensure that every single recommendation gets a listing, but there's obviously no duplication. So doing that deduplication process and synthesizing between different recommendations if there's overlap. And I'm now really excited to say that for each of the 4 advisory boards, we have our initial round of tactical recommendations. So let's jump in. Firstly, the network advisory board. Now these individual recommendations, you might have to sort of open this up in full screen. The strategic pillars, amazing, thank you. The strategic pillars focused on the network advisory board were robust infrastructure for real-time AI video, unified developer experience and interface, a lean, scalable, and flexible network core, and open and collaborative AI video research. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these different cards, but these were the recommendations put forward by the 7 great souls who sat on the network advisory board. And you can see they really extend across all these different strategic pillars, from expanding GPU supply to running a pilot with model builders to ensuring that there is core technical guidelines that are aligned across the product. But really, there was a huge number of different recommendations that have been published, and you can at the end, I'll give you a QR code which you can scan, and you can go away and really spend some time thinking, what are the strategic priorities for the Livepeer project based off from a network perspective, if you are a developer and you want to contribute to the Livepeer network as a whole. Next up, we have the Growth Advisory Board. And these individual recommendations, or the strategic pillars that were put forward, are around strong brand and positioning, strategic AI and video partnerships, high-value builder community, and a coherent network go-to-market strategy. And again, one of the priorities that really came out of that process was ensuring that Livepeer as a brand was relaunched and really focused on as an inclusive network brand. This is something that will be a priority over the coming months, but also integrating new narratives around AI agents and visualization of AI agents and decentralized video primitives that are crucial to the Livepeer network. There's also calls to have integrations with AI and video leaders in adjacent ecosystems. And then on the community piece, there was a lot from really scoping out grant-ready project ideas to scoping out a venture studio or a new ecosystem fund that can ultimately fund private companies building on the Livepeer network, and to launching real-time AI video AI builder programs. Finally, also the launching of an ecosystem dev team came up consistently, or having a new developer relations focus for the Livepeer project as a whole. Next up, we had the Markets Advisory Board, and these were across 4 strategic pillars: the sustainable network economy, optimizing quality markets, strategic capital management of risk, and a compelling and valuable LPT. So this was one of the hot topics within Livepeer over the last years, or I mean, really months, but also years, has been inflation. So there will be a task force and proposal put forward as a priority over the coming months, really ensuring that we have better network data and markets data in particular, so that we can have more transparent decisions when any working groups on under the Markets Advisory Board work on some of these core topics. Clarifying liquidity goals and increasing on-chain liquidity is a real priority, as again has been a regular discussion. And then finally, or not finally, the capital management piece has a real look at diversifying the Livepeer on-chain treasury and assessing the current LPT treasury cap, which was set at 750K, and activating capital to really generate a yield as it is currently sat there. Now, finally, we have the compelling and valuable LPT. So really creating an LPT participation case, looking at new utility for the token, launching a delegated growth program, and really getting more analysis of delegators through a metrics dashboard. Obviously, a huge amount here. The next phase, which I'll come on to in a minute, will really be thinking of what are the quick wins that we can apply across the different working groups that will work on this, and how can we allocate resources as a project to ensure we prioritize effectively. And then finally, we had the Governance Advisory Board, which N sits on. And these 4 strategic pillars were looking at a secure, fast protocol upgrade process, incentivize accountable core contributions, aligned and coordinated project strategy, and effective governance research. So this was primarily thinking about decentralizing the security committee further and bringing visibility to the current processes that take place, and also looking to fund the core protocol development SPE, so that when protocol upgrades need to take place, they can do so effectively. The second was focused on core contributors and bringing accountability in particular to different SPEs within the special purpose entities. These are groups which are funded to build public goods for the Livepeer network and project as a whole. And there was also a call to create a much more transparent contributor hub, where new and existing contributors can see the opportunities within the Livepeer project, and also establish milestone-based payouts. The third thing was around the project strategy. This is actually the advisory board process as a whole, and to really think about how that strategy is then implemented and coordinated across the disparate groups of SPEs to ensure that everyone is rowing in the same direction and providing maximum value to the Livepeer project. And then finally, effective governance research, looking at conducting a governance risk workshop, also with latest legislation, but also thinking of like civil attacks and various other potential risks that the on-chain treasury and the Livepeer project faces. And finally, creating a real report on the past on-chain treasury proposals and decision-making processes as a whole. I know that GovWorks has already done a huge amount of this, and we'll be looking to obviously work with them more in the future as a project to ensure that there is greater transparency on how we've been making decisions. I realized a huge amount there. That what I will say is, next slide. The advisory boards are really near the end of this initial stage of the process, this recommend phase, which is the most intense period. So I really encourage everyone to go away and have a look at those recommendations. However, also within the next 2 or 3 weeks, the Livepeer Foundation will be publishing an official project roadmap for the project as a whole. And this is a huge milestone because it really gives that strategic direction to all different contributors working within the Livepeer ecosystem. Final slide. Please do if you scan that QR code, you'll go straight through to the link. I wonder if someone could publish. We literally just published it about just before this call. I wonder if Joe could post it in Twitter and Discord. So please do reach out to myself or any members of the foundation if you're interested. Reply to the like and reply to the forum post, and a lot more to come in the next couple of weeks. I realize I'm hopelessly over, but it was a very big moment in Livepeer's Livepeer Foundation's history. So appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks so much, Rich. I mean, super exciting stuff. It's great to see that all laid out, and I'm sure the community will be excited to really dig into how we start to move on those. So very, very exciting stuff. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you as always, and appreciate you.
All right. Super exciting. I'm really, really hype about all the recommendations. I think for a lot of people, they come as good news because a lot of those things have been mentioned in the community over the past year. So it's really nice to have that direction. And of course, the advisory boards will continue their journey. As you said, Rich said, the screen step is next. All right. Well, welcome up, John from AISPE. Hi, John. How are you?
Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Good. How are you, Ed?
Doing good. So I'll have you. Oh, you already shared. All right. I'll let you take it away. Not to steal your thunder.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on today. It's a pleasure to give a quick update on the AISP and what we've been working on during the month of July. It's a really exciting time for ComfyStream, as well as Livepeer Network as a whole, as we enable new containers, new capabilities, and especially AI inference on the network. And to facilitate this, we've worked on many different projects related using ComfyStream as our primary prototype, so to speak, but also building other containers as a proof of concept of our BYOC. So today's agenda, I'll start off with real-time audio transcription and outline our current roadmap and a quick demo on the Livepeer network with real-time audio. We also will go over the ComfyStream API work that we've done and our roadmap, what we're thinking with that. As well as detail our latest ComfyStream release. We've updated some documentation as well as added RTX 5090 support, and take any questions and answers you might have. Go ahead, next slide, please. I may be able to, there we go. Thank you. Yep, so we have developed a real-time audio transcription demo using an extra container. This isn't in ComfyStream quite yet, but it does use the PyTrickle package interface that we've developed to support BYOC containers on the network. This trickle protocol integration is the same thing the AI runner uses today for the Daydream stack, but it's separated out into an installable Python package that allows BYOC developers to decode and encode multimedia into the Livepeer software, mostly working with the orchestrator, and then so it's compatible. So currently the architecture is just video in, video out, right? So getting that to where we're doing video and audio in, video audio out, as well as an additional channel with a text or any other type of inference that you need. In this case, we're doing audio transcriptions in real time. And again, this is a standalone application. This is coming soon to ComfyStream. Was working very hard to try to get that full example ready for today, but we do have this working in real time. So I'll go ahead and go to the next slide here. On the right, you can actually see the way this looks in our demo UI, where the transcriptions come up in real time. Actually, these are actually a little bit out of order. Let me jump to the demo and I'll roll back. So we'll go ahead and give a demo of this real-time audio transcription for you guys. There's no audio, ironically, but this is Brad helped me put this together. It's a bit grainy. What you can see is we have a data stream here. These are server-sent events coming back from the extra trickle channel, and it's segmenting the audio and putting, segments of transcriptions with timestamps into the UI. And these are coming directly off the gateway endpoint. And it's also a great example of our demo UI and what it looks like. We're looking to develop this more, but essentially, you can put a prompt in here and do a prompt update. We have this working with ComfyStream. We've been able to obtain FPUps up to 77 FPS with just basic, like no op inference. That validates that we have good performance through the whole pipeline with ComfyStream and Trickle. And then, of course, you can send prompt updates and so on. This demo UI also supports event logs, which will also support getting data back like FPS from the container. Let me roll back here. And so moving on to the ComfyStream API and giving a little more detail into what we're doing with that. The idea is to build an API that is comprehensive from a stream management perspective. At least this is the vision that I see as most beneficial, and we're still working through our overall scope. But essentially, to be compatible with the Go Livepeer, I think one of the most important things that we need is to be able to stop a stream and start a stream with very specific parameters. Maybe warm a pipeline, have it ready, maybe have multiple pipelines warmed. The ComfyStream API helps us do this. It allows us to start a new stream, and then get a list of active streams. We can even run multiple streams at the same time with one ComfyStream. Currently, there's limitations to that, and we will be solving with multi-process support. But as you can see with our Trickle API routes example here, you can get status of a specific stream, update the stream params, stop and start the stream, as well as get a list of all streams that are running. We're currently working on this demo that you saw with a separate BYOC container, processing that through ComfyStream and making the workflow experience very generic and reusable and scalable to support many different types of audio and video workflows with additional text output through the pipeline as well. The architecture is really the same. If you look at ComfyStream versus what we've demoed today, as far as the trickle channels, the inputs and outputs are pretty much identical. So then I'll go ahead and move on to kind of our roadmap with ComfyStream, just giving a quick update. As I mentioned earlier, the idea of multi-channel trickle integration. Trickle makes things a lot easier to test. It's not like a RTC. RTC has got some other connection challenges with it. We have prototyped WIP and WEP support, which allows for a more direct connection to be made. The issue that you run into with that in the decentralized network is you're sending one frame over the network at a time, right? And there's a chance that those frames can be corrupted or dropped, and it results in a bit of a grainy output. The trickle protocol gives the advantage of sending larger segments of data with all the video playable already encoded together. You're sending less it's kind of like if you were to send a zip file, it would go faster than the folder of 1,000 files, right? So this is a trickle really helps with the network performance. But getting this to where we can do isolated worker processes for multiple workflows at the same time, this concept would allow us to have multiple workflow prompts ready to process, and then be able to assign that stream to the given warm worker. And that is something that we already have scoped, and we can see in a prototype is very feasible with our API. Given the API is a RESTful format, it's very, very conducive to this. Again, processing audio workflows, we've developed a save text tensor and a save audio tensor. These are nodes that go in ComfyStream that allow those outputs to go through the pipeline. Another thing on our roadmap, these last two here are really just more housekeeping and maintenance, keeping up with supporting the latest hardware and the latest custom nodes and workflows and models. We're currently working to upgrade ComfyUI to the latest version. We're currently on an older version due to some I would say like we're using a fork of ComfyUI, but we have a solution in place to implement that shortly. This week we did ship RTX 5090 support in ComfyStream. This is using the PyTorch 2.7.1 compiled with CUDA 12.8. I would note that your performance might not be optimal in the 5090 world, but your 4090 performance will be the same as you're used to. We're looking into maybe providing a 2.8 build, from a nightly build of 5090 to get a little bit better performance there. But you can now run ComfyStream on 5090s. So that's pretty much our overall presentation today. I'm happy to take some questions and continue on the normal fireside chat. And any questions you have for me or the audience, I'd love to help answer those.
Awesome. Thank you, John. So we don't do live questions, but if there are any that jump up in chat, I'll let you know. Just wanted to, for folks who are watching on Twitter and maybe not following the project, I just want to give a big hand to you, John, and of course Peter, who is now leading the AISPE. You guys have come so far from where we started, and really professionalized, and really built something that I think we can all start really integrating into what we're doing here. So just a congrats. I know it's probably been a ton of hard work. So any reflections on that journey?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it has been I've grown a lot throughout this whole journey and learned a lot. Still, it's always a challenge to, I think, keep up with what's going on in the community, as well as being a developer. Your head's filled with technical things, and then you have to talk to real people at some point. So I say that's probably my biggest challenge personally. I'll say learning ComfyUI has been an onion, many layers of it, right? Getting it set up, learning how it works, but then getting into like how it caches nodes, how models behave. And last year when we built our batch network, I learned a lot about floating point precision and different ways to optimize models. But now we're getting more into real workflow and pipeline development, making applications very reusable, and building on something like ComfyUI that's so scalable for what we're doing. I'm really excited to start getting the community more involved with workflow development and help enable that use case. Like Daydream was always like this particular prompt that you can edit, but getting some new nodes available or new different experiences available. Really excited about the audio support. There are some, I know at least a few cohort folks over the past year who have been very interested in audio reactive type experiences for like concerts and those types of things that would really help drive usage as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a massive journey and massive undertaking, and of course folks who are interested, one thing that's still it's something we've been in the pipeline for a while. There's been other things that have been happening, but we're going to build in to the new real-time video AI community, a comfy channel, a comfy stream channel, so folks can start getting integrated into what you're doing on that side, as well as hopefully within our server, we're going to have some channels focusing on it too. But that's kind of TBD in the next few weeks. So yeah, again, John, thank you so much, and hats off to the ASPE. You guys continue to do excellent work.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to provide more updates to the community, and I love that idea of a separate channel so we can kind of engage and gather feedback. And if anyone wants to try out Comfy Stream, we have a repo at Livepeer/Comfy Stream on GitHub, and also drop in our Discord, of course, there. And happy to help answer any questions. Thanks for the time today.
Of course. And this is the end. Big updates today. I'm like really pleased. We've had a couple of big calls, big meetings over the past 2 weeks, which I think is really bodes well for our ecosystem. Things with Daydream are improving. We're shipping a lot of cool stuff, getting a lot of attention there. Like I mentioned, we had all-time high network fees. We had delegator workshops last week, and we reversed the curse. If anyone's familiar, that was a Bostonian thing. I'm originally from Massachusetts, but we reversed the curse for delegators, and we actually had an uptick for the first time since I've been here. Again, small, but we had the first moment where we had a kind of sideways rather than a negative slope there. So that was another big moment for the community. We have 51 new delegators. If they'll stick around, remains to be seen. But again, high signal that having more of these delegator workshops can actually onboard people to the community. I met somebody in Salt Lake City, Utah, who has an email list of over 4,000 people interested in Web3 in my local area, and is willing to have another workshop a little bit south of Salt Lake, and try to get more people who are interested in Web3 to come out to that. So again, right, we're really starting to move. And for folks watching on Twitter, this is the QR code to join our Discord where everything is happening. Like you saw with Rich, there's a ton of tactical opportunities here, a ton of labor that needs to be done. So if you're interested in joining a Web3 project, potentially getting compensated for your labor, there are opportunities coming fast. So now is the time to jump in and start getting those gears turning, understanding Livepeer as a project, understanding our direction, mission, vision, and figuring out how you can help achieve that. All right. Well, that's it for me. We will see you next week for Water Cooler, and then also for Fireside. We're going to be pushing the Beyond the Stream. So that'll be in the next few weeks. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Bye, y'all.